Knicks Nation, we've got a real rotation storyline developing, and no, this is not drama. This is exactly what a contender is supposed to look like in March. Right now, there's a legitimate battle brewing at the forward spot between Jeremy Sochan and Mohamed Diawara, and when Mike Brown says, quote, "Mo is coming," that's not just a throwaway quote. That's a message. Sochan was brought in for experience, size, and playoff versatility. Diawara has been one of the best developmental surprises on this roster. And now they're competing, not for headlines, for minutes on a 50-win pace team. That's the kind of internal pressure that sharpens a playoff roster. So today we're breaking down Sochan's early run, Diawara's recent dip, and what Mike Brown actually said, and why this whole thing is more exciting than concerning. Drop your early take in the comments. Who do you think takes control of this spot long term? Let's get into it. Let's start with Sochan. Since joining the Knicks, he's been working in very controlled minutes, roughly 7 to 10 per night so far in a small sample. The production has not jumped off the screen yet, a couple of points here, a few rebounds there, and a defensive stop and a good read. Nothing explosive, but context matters. He's adjusting to a new system, new terminology, new pace, and Mike Brown does not hand out extended rotation roles without evaluation. What you have seen are flashes like defensive switches that hold up, some ball movement reads, and a couple possessions where his size clearly makes a difference. The key here is that Brown is gathering information. Sochan has 4 years of NBA experience. He understands spacing, matchups, and playoff physicality at least a little better than Mohamed Diawara. That gives him a current edge in familiarity and strength, but this isn't about winning a box score in 8 minutes. It's about proving you can be trusted in April when rotations tighten and matchups matter. And right now, Brown is giving him a real look. Now flip it to Mohamed Diawara, because we're not rewriting history here. Before this shift, Mo was earning real rotation minutes. Not symbolic minutes, real rotational minutes. He was giving you length, defensive activity, and confident three-point shooting in spots. For a young player who's only 20 years old, he didn't look overwhelmed. He looked composed and he looked like he belonged. And recently, those minutes dipped, not because he failed, not because he regressed, but because competition arrived. That's the part that people miss. On a serious team, minutes are not permanent. They are earned and re-earned. Diawara has not sulked, but Brown has praised his maturity, his confidence, and his approach. That matters because when a coach says a young player is confident and steady, that tells you that the door is still open. So this is not a demotion, it's pressure, and pressure reveals growth. Now here's where this gets interesting, because Mike Brown addressed it directly recently. He said Sochan has the advantage right now. He's bigger, stronger, and more experienced. That's a logical thing to say, but then he followed it up with a line that could energize Knicks fans. He said, quote, "Mo is coming." And he didn't say it casually. He emphasized it, he repeated it, and he made it clear that everybody needs to understand that. That just goes to show how far Mo has come since the beginning of his rookie season this year. So it's a merit-based system. Brown also said that it could be Jeremy tonight versus the Bucks and Mo on Sunday against the Spurs. That's fluid competition. That's accountability, and that's exactly how a contender operates heading into the playoffs. No one is locked in because of draft position. No one is buried because of age. You play who gives you the best chance that night. That kind of transparency keeps a locker room sharp. It keeps veterans hungry and young players focused. It creates internal urgency without creating division. So why is this promising instead of problematic, you may ask? Because depth wins in May. Having two versatile forwards with different skill sets pushing each other means that the Knicks have options. Sochan gives you physicality, switchability, and playoff body type. Diawara gives you length, shooting upside, more offensive game, and developmental momentum. If one separates, great, but if both continue improving, even better. And we should not be panicking right now, because these are some learning curves for guys like Sochan and Alvarado because they're new to the system. With Alvarado, you've already seen some legit success early on, but with Sochan, it might take a bit more time. But the Knicks are still sitting near the top of the East at the 3rd seed. You just don't want to be 4th seed or less, because that would likely mean you face Detroit in the 2nd round instead of the Eastern Conference Finals. So this isn't a rebuilding experiment, this is a contender fine-tuning the margins, and when you can afford to experiment because your foundation is strong, that's a luxury. Competition like this raises standards across the roster. It forces attention to detail, it forces consistency, and it gives Mike Brown flexibility when matchups dictate different looks. That's not instability, but that's strength. So here's the real question: who takes it? Does Sochan's experience eventually solidify the role as the games get bigger, or does the quote "Mo is coming" from Mike Brown become reality sooner than people expect? But to me, all of these recent quotes from Mike Brown about this topic means that Jeremy will get the advantage right now, and in the future it'll be Mo's. Either way, this is exactly what you want to see from a team with championship aspirations: internal competition, coaching accountability, and young players developing under pressure. But Knicks fans, drop your passionate takes below. I want to hear your real basketball answers. Who fits better in a playoff series? Who has the higher upside? And if both keep pushing each other, how much deeper does that make this Knicks bench? Because this actually is not controversy, this is growth, and growth in March turns into problems for the East in April. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button and sub to the channel for more Knicks news and updates you will not want to miss. It's been KNYT here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.